Tuesday, March 18th.
Here's what's making news right now. Colorado now has 11 active cases of community spread of coronavirus, but restaurants and bars are doing their part for social distancing.
Only 4% were not in compliance.
In Italy, the death toll's growing at rates we haven't seen before, as one world leader calls this pandemic the biggest challenge since the Second World War. An $82 billion financial aid package has been unveiled by the federal government. The Prime Minister says the measures will support workers and businesses struggling through the COVID-19 pandemic. Be wary of miracle cures or home testing kits.
Those scams are active and they're there.
Thieves are using the coronavirus outbreak to take advantage of Canadians. The Chicago Bears have acquired Nick Foles from Jacksonville. The Chargers not expected to pursue a free agent quarterback. Sports at 45.
Traders cashing out of just about everything. TSX hits an 8-year low. Oil and the loonie 18-year lows. European Central Bank announcing a 750 billion euro stimulus. Business at 56.
680 News Time, 9:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by 407 ETR. A pair of issues on the westbound 401 west of Kiel and the collectors. It's still 3 right lanes blocked for this crash cleanup, so only the left lane is getting passed. There's not too heavy a delay here. It does get slow for a stretch, but it's not really that bad. West of Kiel and the collectors with just that left lane open. And as part of this, the southbound Kiel ramp to the westbound 401 has also been closed by crews because traffic using that ramp would be going right into where this collision is. The second issue is the more serious of the two now. Westbound 401 west of Trafalgar. 2 right lanes are blocked for the collision here as well. And once again, only the left lane is open. Crews are on scene, jammed and very slow now from approaching Trafalgar to west of it. If you want to exit the highway, traffic spotter called and said that using Derry is a good alternate, or Steeles as well. Steeles is the closer one, so if you can exit at Trafalgar, use Steeles to get over to James Snow Parkway. That'll save you some time. You won't have to go through this heavy delay. Our other problem is Fort Erie bound QEW right at the top of the Burlington Skyway. 2 right lanes still blocked for vehicle fire cleanup, but no longer a delay in this area. And 1 ramp closure for construction so far. Westbound 407 ramp to Mavis has been closed. With the addition of 6 new hospitals in 2020, 407 ETR makes annual donations to 20 hospitals across the GTA. 407 ETR for the things that matter most. Your next report at 9:41, and with the forecast, here's Denise Andriacci.
Mostly cloudy this evening and overnight with some possible scattered rain here and there. We'll see periods of rain for Thursday with a few sunny breaks, highs near 10 degrees, and some thunder showers for Thursday night as we officially welcome spring. Your overnight low tonight, 2 degrees.
Downtown Toronto this hour, we've got an overcast sky at 4 degrees with pockets of light rain. 680 News Time, 9:33.
Provincial and city health officials updating the current COVID-19 crisis. More than 200 cases in Ontario and counting. And now officials say they hope to increase capacity to 5,000 tests a day, which would be 5 times the current rate.
680's Mark Douglas joins us with the latest from Toronto's Medical Officer of Health. Another 7 new cases of coronavirus in Toronto in the last 24 hours. And of all the current cases, 11 are now considered to come from community spread.
They do not appear to be linked to travel outside of Canada, nor do they seem to be linked to close contact to an existing case.
Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Eileen Davila, says even if the daily reported cases for Toronto were to drop on any given day, that would not necessarily mean we are out of the woods. She says Toronto Public Health is planning for possibly more than one wave of this or any other virus. But it's not all doom and gloom. In the Wednesday update, Dr. Davila says her staff went out on Tuesday to check out how well Toronto restaurants and bars were doing with the new order to stop all in-person dining and switch to takeout or delivery only.
We have found that only 4% of the businesses that we went out to look at were not in compliance. This is amazing.
She continues to emphasize that social distancing will change the story of how coronavirus hits Toronto. From City Hall, I'm Mark Douglas.
The TTC adopting new measures to encourage social distancing. Within the next few hours, commuters will be able to board streetcars and city buses using any of the available doors. Wheel-Trans services will also be made available for community housing users that feel symptomatic and need a trip to the hospital or a testing center. The vehicles used and the people driving them will be under strict cleaning protocols. Well, health officials say you don't need to wear a mask if you're not sick. TTC employees can wear their own if they feel the need to.
A big spike in cases in New York City as the COVID-19 situation crisis continues to grow around the world. 680 Stuart McGinn has the global picture on the virus. For days, Italy's been known as the epicenter, and Wednesday was the country's worst day yet. The death toll grew by 475, the biggest spike in fatalities any nation has seen. Alex Grant, a Canadian living in Italy, describes the atmosphere as the entire country remains under quarantine.
There's a lot of kind of solemn duty feelings, so to do your part.
And closer to home, New York State saw the number of its cases nearly double Wednesday. Governor Andrew Cuomo spoke to CNN.
We read these numbers to suggest, well, now there are 2,300 cases of coronavirus in New York State. If you actually knew, there would be tens of thousands of cases in New York State.
I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 9:36. Another historic sell-off on the markets. Oil running at a near two-decade low. 680's Richard Southern has more from the Business Center.
Massive economic bailout packages didn't do anything to ease investor nerves. Traders are growing more and more worried that we could see mass bankruptcies for companies both big and small amid this unprecedented shutdown across all industries. And as a result, we saw another tumble on financial markets. The Dow down more than 1,300 points. This is the lowest level in more than 3 years. The TSX, 8-year low, down another 7.6%. The price for oil absolutely cratering to $20 and change, down 24%, an 18-year low, and a price at which few, if any, energy companies can make any money at. Ford, GM, Toyota, Chrysler shutting down their North American production lines for 2 weeks. What was up today? Well, a stock called Blue Apron. They make meal delivery kits. They surged 151% on Wall Street. Richard Southern, 680 News.
680 News Time, 9:37. The Fed's pledging $80 billion to help Canadian workers and businesses that are struggling to cope with the fallout of COVID-19.
In these extraordinary times, our government is taking extraordinary measures.
This major federal spending goes beyond what many were expecting. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the measures include a boost to the Canada Child Benefit, emergency care support for parents and caregivers who have to miss work to take care of children, help for workers who don't have paid sick leave or wouldn't normally qualify for employment insurance, and subsidies for small business owners to help keep staff on the payroll.
In Canada, public health should never hinge on financial considerations.
Canada's big banks have also agreed to offer mortgage deferrals, and the government is pushing back the tax deadline to June 1st. If you owe money, you have until September 1st to pay. Finance Minister Bill Morneau says these steps are just a start, and there's more to come.
Make investments to ensure that we can actually come out of this challenge.
Many of these measures have to be passed in Parliament, which should be recalled next week. The cash is not expected to roll out until early next month. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Fraudster is taking advantage